From the iShin Broadcast Studio, it's the Tool Time Podcast.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Tool Time Podcast. I'm Eric Garba, ASE Certified Master Automobile Technician and editor of Tech Shop. Today we've got a great podcast coming your way. We're talking about battery chargers, some of the most common and important equipment we have as technicians. Joining us is Kim Cottle, President and CEO of Associated Equipment. Thanks for joining us today, Kim.
Hi, Eric. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. Happy to be here.
To start with, can you give us a little bit of history on Associated Equipment?
Yes. Associated Equipment was established in 1948 by a gentleman named Ralph Casey. It was originally Hunter Hartman. We have some history with Hunter Engineering way back pre-World War II. Everyone went off to war, came back, and then they started Hunter Associated, became Associated Equipment. We were the first battery charger manufacturer to make professional chargers for the shop in the 40s and the 50s. And then we were the first charging company to develop the fully insulated clamp, which we still make today in St. Louis. We make all of our primary products in St. Louis, Missouri.
Wow, that's awesome. That is great. Everybody who knows me knows I love history, so I love to learn about companies and history like that. So can you give us an overview of your equipment today?
Yes. So our equipment today primarily consists of battery chargers, testers, and booster cables for the automotive aftermarket. Our battery chargers are segmented between wheeled chargers, gang chargers, parallel and series chargers, and then portable bench chargers. So we have a full line of chargers. We also developed our own booster pack here in the U.S. We had all the tooling made in the U.S., and we make that as a professional jump pack as well. And we make a large assortment of booster cables that are still well used in the industrial and heavy duty markets. We're one of the only battery charger manufacturers, in fact, the only battery charger manufacturer in the United States, still making all of our products here. So we have a full range of battery accessories and products, primarily focused on the automotive aftermarket and then OE use at the dealerships.
Made in the USA. I love to hear that. So as technicians, and I know you're familiar with this, one thing we look for in our equipment is quality. We want to know that it's going to last and it's going to perform day in and day out. Can you tell me a little bit about the quality and with Associated Equipment?
Yes. Quality, like some companies said, quality is job one for us. We 100% test all of the product that ships out of our facility, so we know how it tested before it left the facility. We're very vertically integrated as a company. We wind our own transformers. We make our own rectifiers. Our sheet metal dies are all our own. We powder coat internally as well. Silk screen our products. We've always focused on the higher quality parts and components that you put in. Definitely listening to the voice of the customer, which for us is the professional technician. It's really, people like you and other technicians that have given us the feedback that we're looking for a shop buy that's going to last for years. We're not looking for the quick sale. So our products really are focused more on the professional technician who really need a heavy duty cycle and a long lasting product, as well as the fact that because we make our product here in the U.S., we're able to provide a lot of the repair parts and aftermarket support that a lot of other companies are unable to provide.
That is great to know. You need parts. You can rely on Associated Equipment just to get the parts directly. And you say you wind your own transformers. So this is all happening in-house?
Yes. So all in St. Louis, Missouri, made in U.S., winding transformers, making rectifiers, the fully insulated clamps. It's our dies that we make, and we put on booster cable. The clamps are the jaws that we make are all made in St. Louis as well. So we are really very much a fully integrated U.S. manufacturer.
Wow, that is fantastic. So you can, at any point in time, if you're want to see what's going on and you keep an eye on quality, you can walk right down and see what's
Absolutely.
happening.
If there are ever issues from the field or someone calls and asks a question, we go down to the floor. We can talk to the production people right away to see, if something needs to be changed. Do we need to do process improvement? We're definitely on a continuous improvement journey as a company. We're always seeking to grow and improve. My philosophy is if you think that you've gotten there, you've really fallen behind. You really need to be looking to continuously improve how we provide our products, how we can improve our processes, and really how we can bring a quality product to the market for someone who knows that they can count on it every single time to work and last. Or if they have an issue, they can call the factory and talk to someone who can help them with a specific application or something that they're looking to do that maybe not be in the general known application of the product, but is something that we can help them with.
And those are the most important things, that we can depend on our equipment, and if we have problems, we can make a phone call and get a real person on the other end of the line,
Yes.
somebody who can help us out.
We are one of the few companies, I do have people who tell me, I can't believe I call your customer service and a person answers the phone. It's like, yes, we have real people answering the phone and real people that work in the factory, and it is in the United States.
It's not a chat bot that says reference the owner's manual.
Exactly, exactly.
That is awesome. So Associated Chargers are OEM tested and approved. Can you tell us what that means and how important that is?
So the vehicle manufacturers obviously are also looking for quality equipment that's reliable. So we've been asked, and we'll go in and send in our products to their engineering or work with their engineering departments to figure out what it is that they need for the upcoming new vehicles that are coming out. They will approve our products, test them, or give us improvement features. We'll integrate those features into all of our products that we provide for the OEMs and for the aftermarket. Then that becomes an approved product in their program. So when a dealership goes to buy a battery charger, what they're looking for is the Associated Equipment battery charger that's been approved by the engineers at one of the OEMs. And we service all the import OEMs. We also serve all the US OEMs, and all because we've been able to go in and make sure that they have quality product that's able to serve whatever their needs are, whether it's vehicle reflash needs, whether it's charging needs, charging at specific rates, testing type needs, all of those kinds of things. That's really what we've looked at, and how to support that in the aftermarket, because obviously people beyond the dealership and the warranty are going to want their products serviced, their cars serviced, and we look to service that into the future. I mean, I have people that bring in chargers that are 40 years old for repair, some from dealerships, and that's a lot of where you'll see our product as well.
That's awesome. And now you mentioned reflash. Now, how important is it today to have a charger that has that ability to be a power supply as opposed to just a charger?
We think it's really important, and that's one of the things, there are a lot of companies that provide power supplies, but it's only a power supply. And for us, we believe that the investment should be in a battery charger, a power supply, and a memory saver. So you're kind of getting a 3-in-1 type of product. But essentially, we definitely worked with the OEs as well as the battery manufacturers to see what are the charging rates that you need, what level do you need a constant current set at as you're going through and doing your different ADAS calibrations, vehicle reflash, module reflashes. But all of that information is stuff that we've put into our products because, again, our primary market is those who are servicing professional vehicles. We really don't focus a lot on the DIY market or the retail market. We're really looking to service professional technicians. And so it's the feedback of the different groups, the different applications for the people with the diagnostic tools. One of the things I've said is, we'll provide the power for any diagnostic tool. We're an equal opportunity supplier.
Presented from the Aishin Broadcast Studio at Babcock's Media.
So, Kim, can you tell us about some of the standout features of your chargers? And I know, like technicians like myself, we know we have a lot of different types of batteries today, a lot of different charging profiles that the charger needs to be able to recognize to properly charge a battery without damaging it. But some of us like old features, like maybe a meter. Some of us may want to think that we still have more to do with it. What are some of the standout features of your chargers that the technicians really like?
A lot of what we like is that we do both. We have manual chargers and we also have automatic chargers. And manual chargers, you can set the time on it. We have 120-minute timers. We have rate switches. You can change it between 6-volt, 12-volt AGM, 12-volt high, a charging setting. We also have meters on all of them because, again, a lot of technicians just want to see how is the charger performing, and they want something that's very simple and safe. Our clamps are all fully insulated. Our booster cables, our booster cables and our DC leads we make from the same cable. They're sourced out of Pennsylvania. It's primarily copper with the amount of insulation that's required. So when you look, we do cables anywhere from 6 gauge to 1/0, depending on the application. We have powder-coated steel. Our handles are chrome-plated steel. We do 1,000-hour salt spray testing on our powder-coated products. So from that perspective, we definitely differentiate ourselves from the competitors. One of the things when we came out with our automatic chargers, they called intelligent or smart chargers. And the smart charger is a little dumb sometimes because if it doesn't see voltage coming from the battery, which is typically 3 volts or less, it doesn't think there's a battery there. So based on technician feedback from people like you and others, they said, it would be great if I didn't have to take this off and charge this separately just to have the charger see if there's a battery there. So we invented the dead battery override, put that on. It puts a surface charge on the battery that allows the charger to see that there is voltage there. And then the charger goes off and it will test the battery 4 times in the first 15 minutes to see if it'll take a charge. That's on our Intellimatic battery chargers, which are automatic. If it will take a charge in that first 15 minutes, it'll go and charge it until it's at about 80% state of charge, and then it'll flash at the technician and say, hey, you can take this off if you're a busy shop, and the customer can drive home and top off the battery. If the technician's busy doing something else, then the battery will go into a state of where it will charge, and then it'll basically shut itself off. So it's fully automatic. It will not overcharge the battery, and that is one of the things that technicians like. So for the automatic side of things, it will definitely charge it fully. The other thing in that first 15 minutes, if it senses that it's not going to take a charge or if it's a bad battery, it's going to flash at the technician and say, don't waste your time charging this battery. It's bad. Switch it out. Tell the customer you need to sell them a new battery. Saves time in the shop and saves money overall because you're not wasting time charging a battery that's not going to take a charge. So we provide both the manual chargers and the automatic, and there's a good range that we sell depending on the technician preference is really where it is.
Absolutely, and those are some great features you mentioned. I know the dead battery override, so many of us have had that problem, ran into that, and just the time it saves as technicians. Time is really important to us, and it saves our customers time as well. We would rather know right away the battery is bad, the battery needs to be replaced, than having to wait a long time like we used to charge it up and test it and take an entire day, whether we can just get the service done, talk to the customer, get them back in their car, get them on the road.
Absolutely.
So those are great features. We're in Ohio, of course, right here, and as we did last night, we get a lot of rain. And as a technician, you're in a hurry, and a lot of times cars come in on the tow truck, they're dead. And what's the first thing you do? You wheel the charger out in the parking lot, put the charger on, and then next thing you know, 5 minutes later, this rainstorm comes through. Tell us about Associated Chargers and how they fare.
So our chargers are famous for safe in any weather operation. We know that the garage shop perfect environment is not always where you're going to be utilizing our products. And you can wheel it out in the rain, snow, mud. We've seen all kinds of applications for the charger, but a lot of times people don't even have an indoor shop. So it's really outside under tents or something like that. And our chargers definitely are safe for operation in the rain. I was down in Florida actually for vacation, and I was driving by a shop and it was raining, and literally I saw one of our chargers outside charging a vehicle. I had to take a picture and send it to the salespeople and say, see, this is how it actually works. And we definitely tell people, don't do this with some of the competitors' products because it probably won't be as successful. And in our larger, especially at Apex, we will have a rain display. So we typically show our chargers operating with water just coming down on them. Back in the day, we used to have a gentleman who would stand in a kiddie pool and spark the clamps together. not really my game, so it's not what we do. So the rain display is kind of a nice alternative.
Anyhow, that's awesome. That is great to know because we get caught in the rain a lot. And, in Ohio, you can always tell an Ohio Charger because of all the stuff that's on the roads that goes into the parking lot. They start to rust at the bottom. But it sounds like an Associated Charger with the powder coating and the salt spray testing you do.
Yep.
Associated Chargers, however many years in an Ohio shop, they're going to look good. They're really going to hold up. But speaking of rain and the weather, being eco-friendly is a very common topic.
Yes.
And it's important to a lot of us, and myself included, who really enjoys nature and wants to see this earth be around and it's all its beauty for many generations to come. How does Associated play a part in being eco-friendly?
So we are, one of the things was the Department of Energy did come out with some battery charger restrictions around efficiencies, and so we definitely redesigned a lot of our products to meet those standards, to meet the energy consumption standards. In addition to that, our products are primarily steel, aluminum, and copper. So all of those items are almost 100% recyclable. When we have people who send chargers back or we have repair products and we put out, we basically are able to separate all of our metal. We put very little into the landfill. We also use a lot of recycled and recyclable packaging. So we have really focused on that as well. We took out, even in our packaging, we were using foam pack. We've taken that out. It's all pulp mold that we do now with paper type or wood products. So we have really looked at something that even after the market, when it goes down the stream, 40 years later, when you want to get rid of your charger, you can recycle almost all of it. And with a lot of the aluminum and the copper, you can make some money back in the process as well.
That is awesome. That is great to hear. So technicians, if they're looking for Associated equipment products, where might be a good place for them to look? Where can they get a hold of these?
We sell primarily through two-step distribution. We sell into the OE programs through their preferred suppliers, so dealerships can just look into their programs, and typically our product is available there. And we do sell through mobile distribution as well. So the mobile tool trucks are our customers, the main warehouse distributors for the automotive aftermarket. Those are really where we primarily sell our products into.
Great, thank you very much. Now, speaking of products, are there any new products that are coming down the line for Associated?
We have some new things we're working on. We're actually releasing a product called the 6021 AGM, which is basically it's a combination of a tester, a handheld tester we have that's a 6033, and our 612 24 volt AGM charger, the 6006. We basically put them together as if they've had a baby, and we've made a charger tester combination. That's something we had moved away from, but we've had some requests in the field, so it's something that we basically have integrated and we're in the process of releasing now. And we're always working with the OEs and also, individual companies based on what maybe their problems are or some issue that they need to resolve. And if it's something that we can do and integrate into our products, solves their problem, we know it's going to solve other people's problems as well. So that's one of the things that we look to do is how do we fix those issues, or how do we become your solutions provider for battery and electrical system issues?
That is just fantastic. So we've got quality, durability, serviceability, real customer support, made in the USA.
Come see the factory in St. Louis.
Come see the factory in St. Louis. And this is great products, great information. Thank you very much, Kim. It's been great having you. And thanks everybody for watching, and tune in next time.